Queensland Premier Rugby is back for its most eagerly awaited season in history. Romanian international Luke Samoa has arrived at the nest with a host of young talent under his wing. There's potential at Chipseywood. Can they recapture the glory days of old? East have got the flair, the firepower and the ferocity. This man, Seru Uru, will haunt the dreams of club.
Pain in the backside here for the Tigers as they swing it out to get a few extra metres of kills. Finds the spice out wide and it's try time there.
Head coach Carl Marshall is back at Sylvan Road and he's the top dog at the kennel. The Doggies missed finals by just 1 point last year and they're here to play. Don't look away from this young team. They can make something from nothing.
Then one off the ruck. Carter Gordon has sniffed it. The Chiefs defender and Carter Gordon.
It's been a tough few years for the Eagles, but don't you dare tell Chapo that they're not in the fight.
Family members, here we go now. Chapman splits it wide open, goes himself and gets the try. Nick Chapman, take a bow.
It's a new season, and the men from Hugh Courtney Oval have a point to prove. With Cody Blackhurst up front, the Eagles are ready to soar.
Back it's Tuapo goes through, Tuapo gets the try. 22 years, 22 long years. Chiefs have won the 2018 Hospital Challenge Cup.
The Gallopers have been in destructive form in recent years, and boy, do the glue factory get stuck in. Sunnybank are out to restore some pride and will be breathing fire in 2020. With Tom Lucas at the wheel, good luck keeping up once these guys get on a roll. They need no introduction. Just 5 points kept Brothers from the Cup last year, and don't believe that they've put it behind them. Matho will have the Brethren firing in 2020.
Go straight through and he finds Luke. Luke gets it back infield and that's a ripper of a pass from the youngster.
The Bull Sharks are circling. There'll be no easy trips down the M1 if Dan Boardman has anything to do with it.
Side to go down this near touchline. Match down back infield. Dan Boardman goes through untouched. Try time. In at the death here over the Dragons. Strikes it. Switch third. Burying the Dragons.
Arguably the team of the decade, this cup has spent more time at stud to heavy than any other club.
Now White Cairns gets smacked by teams.
Go back infield, finds Dalgleish, Cliffy Setu.
Hino won't let these young students give it up without a fight.
Working towards the post. Tate McDermott goes straight through. McDermott swings it back to Campbell and he bellows it.
The Hospital Challenge Cup is club rugby at its best, and it starts now.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to round 9 of the 2020 All Sports Physiotherapy Hospital Challenge Cup. We are at Hugh Courtney this weekend for the clash. It's the Battle of the North. Norths against Brothers. What a game. There's no bigger derby on the north side of Brisbane than this one, and we will see the second instalment for 2020 play out here this afternoon. Remember, folks, you can watch all 4 Hospital Challenge Cup games each weekend live and free via Queensland.rugby. My name is Martin Lippiett. Joining me in commentary this afternoon, we have former Brothers and Reds playmaker Dallin Murphy and North's utility Nick Chapman. Welcome.
What's up, boys?
Thanks, Marty. How are you, mate? All right?
Mate, good. Good. Back in a seat that I haven't been in too much this year. Been holding babies all year, mate. It's been busy times. And we're going to start with you, Mr. Dallin. Brothers, they've been able to improve over the last few weeks. I guess that loss against Uni a few weeks ago really stoked the fire for them. What have you made of some of the new faces that we're seeing in the team?
I think the new guys have been pretty impressive. If you look at the likes of Hudson Crichton and Nate Carroll, I think they've added a lot of balance to that side, specifically in that back line. Then obviously the return of Michael Wood and those types of guys has a fair bit of experience in that space.
And Chapo, welcome to the commentary box, mate. I know you're nursing that hammy at the moment, but besides that, it's been a bit of an unfortunate one for North this year. But there's still been a lot of improvement with the squad, a lot of opportunities for guys to stand up.
Yeah, definitely. We had a lot of new faces this year, so it's good we're on the edge of stringing it all together. So we just need that push over just to get it all to happen in the game on Saturday. So hopefully today will be the day.
Now, you did tell me before broadcast, maybe next week you might be back, maybe?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. As long as I can get through a solid week of training Tuesday, Thursday, I think I should be right for next Saturday at Souths.
So, and I guess obviously because you've been injured for a fair chunk of this different season this year, you've been able to watch plenty of rugby. Who are you expecting big performances from?
We got a few exciting players in our backs with Alec McDonald and Reece Tapine, so hopefully they get the hands on ball pretty early and see some exciting stuff from them.
Well, as always, I'd like to make a special mention to the sponsors who support club and grassroots rugby. In this case, North's major sponsor, Green Beacon, and for Brothers, their major sponsor, Ray White Ascot and Gouldson Legal. All right, Chapo, we're going to get straight into it, mate. I want you to run me through this team that's running out for North. We've got a bit of a crossover here with that one, but that's all good. Who are you liking this afternoon for North, Chapo?
We got some strong forwards in our front row. We got Kieran Fitzgibbon starting at prop. He usually comes off the bench and gives a bit of an impact. So to have him start, we should have a pretty go forward scrum from the get go. We got Kenny Taviri at the back, which again has got a lot of go forward from number 8. And then, as I said, some exciting backs with Alec Reece and John Rubin at 14. So hopefully he gets his hand on the ball pretty early, some space, and should be pretty exciting.
And down quickly, brothers that have come out. I think the game against last week, their game against South, it was a very conclusive victory for them, very strong. Who are you liking on the field today?
I think the front row obviously sets a really good platform for them. I think Matty Fezler's been playing out of his skin. In the back row, you've got Michael Wood and Noah Nielsen, who have been outstanding over the last couple of weeks. And in the backs, I think it's obviously Rowan Saffloy has been directing the boys around the park really well, but it's Hudson Crichton and Nate Carroll who've been exceptional over the last couple of weeks, really adding another dimension to this rugby team. One
thing that really impressed me about Brothers last week, 9 from 9 on their conversions. Rowan went 7 from 7 before he gracefully departed to the bench, and that's a really strong performance. And I think there was no one person in the team that scored 2 tries out of the 9 last week. It was individual tries across the board, and I think they're really pushing hard as we get close to what I think is probably the first QPR final series in spring ever.
Give me some hot rugby, man. I tell you what, the test matches and.
But
QPR
how
stuff.
good is Hugh Courtney looking, Chapo? Whoever your gardener is for 2020, hats off. That's a nice, lush-looking wicket out there.
Yeah, I've been taking care of it, so looking good for camera.
And it is. It's a big day here out at North too, isn't it?
Yeah, Family Day is usually one of our biggest for crowd support as well. So it's a beautiful day as well, blue skies. So plenty of supporters down here. Let's kick it off.
And we are away. Round 9, 2020 All Sports Physiotherapy Hospital Challenge Cup out of Hugh Courtney Oval. It is the battle of the North between the Eagles and the Brethren. Getting started there, Kenneth Taviri charges in. And I guess goes to the left. It's good showing from North as they push into Brothers Hart. Prendergast keeps looking around the corner, finds Mafu. Originally a North's player, went across to UQ for a little while, got a premiership before he came back. He also featured for Queensland Country, Brisbane City in the NRC, so he'll be needing a big one today. Let's give it over the top. Prendergast looks around the corner, short run there from Tweedy. Hong Kong Scottish Nathan Tweedy. International cap player for this North side. Skur gets the offload out wide. Tweedy manages to slip the tackle. Maloney's over the top. North really trying to break into this Brothers half, but an impressive defensive structure is keeping them out. Our referee today out in the middle, Brett Cronin, did such an amazing job during the Super Rugby Australia season, working as the TMO. Probably the most punctual TMO we had on the competition list. Prendergast, they're stuck on that 40. It goes for a sniping run around the side, loses it forward.
It was ripped by White.
But it's been ripped from White, so it's still in play out the back. It's picked up by Richmond, and it will be kicked into touch, and we're looking at our first line-out of the day. And Dale, we've actually got some good stats on our line-out first.
Yeah, we certainly do. Matty Fezler is the most completed hooker in the game. He's obviously competed really well in the highest percentage there, and Cody Blackhurst is actually at least.
David and Goliath, isn't it?
Very much so.
What a day for him to stand up, Chapo.
Playing at home in front of the crowd, I reckon he'll go all right.
Just fling a metaphorical rock right
See how
into
this first one goes.
Blocker on him. Brothers have turned it over. Big wild pass from Murphy. Out the back, James has scooped it up. He'll run into traffic. His opposite.
Tackle release!
Tarabay at the back, sizing up his options. They're inside 22. Finds Seifel with his handy right boot. And he'll find touch on the right-hand side. So another roll of the dice here for North. Inside, and we spoke about it earlier, Rowan Seifel, what an amazing year that he's had. Dallin playing for Brothers. He's really stepped into that number 10 role over the last couple of seasons and made it his own.
He's really well completed as a player. I think what he does well is he takes his time with things. He directs the boys around the park really well. He leads with his kicking game. But he brings a real sense of calm to the side, which I think is one of the most impressive things for them.
Blackhurst hits it up the front, nice and clean, into the hands of Matt Connor. Fitzgibbon picks and goes, runs into young Will Wilson. There's three Brothers. Here's Taviri, gets pushed back. Good nudge there from Murphy. Show and go on the inside there from Skur.
Number 6.
Penalty going against Michael Wood. And I guess moves around. Wilson opts not to go in. Nielsen's going to go in and have a look. A lot of turnovers in the competition so far. There's Murphy. Prendergast going out wide. Hits Taviri on a good line.
Yeah, turnover's fine there. Number 6, tackle off the ball.
Penalty against Michael Wood. And in the last few weeks, Dallin, we've actually seen Michael Wood. He gives away a few penalties, brings a lot of aggression to the field, but sometimes it can work against you.
Number 6, White, taking him
I
down the
think
ball.
he certainly can, but I think he's just trying to find his feet out there. He's coming back from injury, but I think that side of things, for Brothers, that aggression and that physicality is something he really needs to bring to the game today.
We'll talk about injuries now. Chapper, your hammy is hammy's a hammy, but Michael Wood, I believe he got his foot severed on like a broken glass bottle around the QRU.
And off, please. This is a penalty.
Yeah, he severed a tendon in the foot, so he was out. Like, talk about a bad injury off the field, which has kept him off for quite a long time.
Yeah, I kind of remember around when that happened. I remember he had a bit of time off.
They were in the pre-COVID days.
Yeah,
remember those?
The good old days.
Yeah. February.
Yeah.
Seems like an eternity ago, doesn't it?
It's a new normal now. Have to all get used to it.
What's been your guilty pleasure in lockdown?
Probably a lot of Call of Duty, Warzone. A lot of hours spent on it.
I bet you like the attack dog, based on the canine of yours sitting behind us in the commentary box right
Oh
now.
yes, been here all day. Took him for a bit of a run, so hopefully he stays calm and doesn't mess up the equipment.
22.
That'll be the penalty conversion miss, so it'll be a restart for Brothers on their 22. So, North's looking for the early points there, down.
Absolutely. I think when the points are on offer there today, you've got to take them. You've got to start to build a bit of a leaderboard there against the other side. I think what's going to play a little bit of havoc today is this win.
I was just about to segue into that.
Picked up yesterday, and
well, this is the win that's falling behind all of that big rain event that we saw across most of Eastern Australia. It flooded lots of places out west, which is great. And it's just chasing across the continent. Now it's time for the kick return for Norths. And What a wonderful ploughing run there from Ethan Richards. Mafu, the show and go. Fitzgibbon. A lot of human, Kieran Fitzgibbon. Get him around the ankles. Through the space. This is tidy for North. Pulling away. Very nice run there by Fox. But he gets the offload through once more. They're keeping it alive. Pushing it through the hands. They're on the far side of the field. Good sealing off from Weir. Great 1-2 finds Taviri, who drops Michael Wood. Says, get out of my way. Renegis fires it through. Here's Tweedy. Tweedy into some space. North's getting a roll on, finding momentum. Fitzgibbon picks from the back, keeps going. Blackhurst now. North's rumbling with the forwards and happy to do so. 7 metres out. Next is Taviri. Finding good space and good leg drive from Tweedy. He's short. Careful, Chapo. You might ping that hammy if you get too excited. Blackhurst on the left of the post. Brothers there, deep in there, trying to enforce a turnover potentially. Maloney's over the top. Picking and driving once more, but they've knocked it on. There's big Matty Fezler making a crucial tackle to turn the ball over on the back of quite an impressive attacking spree from North.
Yeah, it certainly was. Chapo, I think we've noticed in this first couple of minutes, Matty Wilshire and Harrison Fox, I think, playing a fair hand in this game so far. What impact have those guys had this year for you guys?
They've been really good leading the forwards around, and then just their ability to have that rugby brain, just picking holes, running lines off our 9s and 10s, really make it easy for our backs. And as you see there, a bit of support there would have been good to get the offload, but it's really good showing this attack early on. We usually leak a few early tries in the first 10 minutes, so it's really good to see that the boys are on the front foot.
Like I said, boys, in more ways than one. Dave versus Goliath. Battle of the North, but you boys, you're both attuned to it. There's something about this rivalry that puts scoreboards and leaderboards into the background because it's all about what's happening in this 80 minutes right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's always a big challenge. It's always an excellent game out here.
Tarabay finds Cypher Lloyd deep in the pocket, who kicks for exit. So once more, Norths will feed their own line out inside Brothers territory.
I think that play just there just sums up Rowan, right on his own half, just clears the ball 40 metres out from the line. Excellent relieving pressure and puts Brothers in a pretty good spot.
Blackhurst fires up the front, nice and clean down to Brennigus. Now they're going to start the attack inside. Backdoor through to find tap in. Big contacts coming from both sides. Wood, he's trying to hold him up, trying to call them all, and he's going to get it. He's going to have to work hard, seal this off, and it could be a turnover for Brothers. And it is. He's probably the last person you want to run tall at. Michael Wood.
Big boy.
Big, strong boy.
It's good to see him. He's recovered. We were speaking about the injury, the glass through the foot tendon.
Yeah, so he's quite unlucky. Had the glass through the foot tendon, and then after recovering from that, or getting close to recovering from that, fell off a bunk bed and injured it again. So he went back to back, which was pretty unimpressive for him personally, but he's just finding his feet now. It's great to see him back out there.
Some people just are never really destined for top bunk status. You know, there's a reason there's top bunkers and bottom bunkers.
Set.
It's not just a prison thing. Now shenanigans at scrum. Probably not the two best souls to talk to about scrum related.
What do you mean, mate?
The ball goes in, it comes out. It's all
Exactly right. It's all from the halfback, isn't it? That's how he puts the ball in when it's on the angle on it.
A bit of extra spin.
It's going to be a long 70 minutes. Really interesting last week. We saw North actually, even though the scoreline against Uni wasn't great, when it came to scrum time, it was actually quite an even battle, and we saw in a couple of instances some full-arm penalties going. in by the way for North and then pushing UQ right off their own ball. So they've definitely got some horsepower.
We've definitely been focusing on that as one of our strengths at training with our scrum. And as you can see there, a lot of pressure being put on. So we're definitely going to be using that a lot today.
Crichton gets a wayward pass off this huge amount of pressure off the back. Nathan Tweedy. No, that's a really interesting last name. I know it's a very big name around brothers Tweedy.
So Chris is ready off. Ball's out.
You're laughing at this as if you might know something.
I don't think there's
no connection to that
whatsoever.
Because I was speaking to one of the best rugby, I'm not sure you probably say almanac for information, it's Nick Darbanese. And when I said Tweedy, he said that's a brother's name. And I thought, oh, would there be like a...
Is it? I know it's a Gundawindi name. Yeah, there's plenty of boys out at Gundawindi with the last name Tweedy. There's been a few boys.
What are you saying about Gundawindi?
Mine!
Nothing. Okay, just that name are a good side.
Yeah.
Won plenty of premierships the last couple of years.
Thank you, man. Darabay throws it in, but it's come back out the same door. This will be our third reset for this scrum.
Chapo, is it just me or is the grass looking quite long?
Still got to cover up through those holes out there, I think. Makes it look more green.
I don't care what you've done. I just like the look of it.
It's looking nice, yeah.
Let's talk about this man on screen, Jonathan Rubin. Now, isn't he an interesting player? Has a huge career in the NRL, and then I believe this is his NRL-affiliated clubs and playing in rugby league. And I think this is only his first or second year of rugby, so it's quite a new experience for him.
Yeah, definitely. It was real exciting when he came to the club. Had a lot to learn, but he's been picking up really quick, and the energy and enthusiasm he's bringing, wearing off a few of the players around him, so it's really good to have that club.
So Skur manages to hold that one. Now Tweedy takes the next hit in. Brandon sources the ball at the back, fires it through. Waiting with Wilshire. Now a penalty.
Not releasing number 8 wide on feet.
Good stuff there. Yeah, it was Christian Cervello there. It was elbow deep in that breakdown. And we've seen brothers down. They've got a few breakdown specialists in this starting athlete.
Sure. Yeah, they've got a few. Obviously, Noah Nelson's terrific over the ball. Matty Fezler's pretty good over the ball. Cervello and Michael Wood obviously pretty impressive over the ball as well. So I think North want to make sure that they're at that breakdown and they're getting those clean outs nice and clean to give these boys obviously no opportunity to do so.
But you see, there's also another side to that. If you've got to commit more players defensively to secure a ball, it means that defensively other teams are going to be able to mark you up a lot better. So it's a pretty strong play, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent opportunity now for brothers though. First time inside the 22.
First line-out for Matty Fezler, the Caterpillar. Hits up the front. Cervello takes it clean. Tarabay fires it through. Seifel, James, Wood, waiting on his outside. Here's Murphy. Seifel feeds it through. Good run there from Hudson Crichton. Wilson now. He's met hard by the defence. Taveri flies out. Wood. Gets a body slammed by big Kieran Fitzgibbon.
That landed on you.
Squeeze the air. Sound like a man with experience. Good run there. Carroll. Billy Bully, I beg your pardon. Tarabay looks to the short side. Good hands, and Bully has another crack down the short side. Wilson gets the 1-2 off to Murphy, breaks through one defender, 6 metres out. Tarabay, eyes up, left and right, looking for that loose ball, but it's been turned over. Cody Blackhurst on the deck now, pick and go. Tonga Murphy. Some breathing room for North. Skur in the pocket off the right, sends it downtown. Finds touch. Interesting passage of play. Brothers work their way down to the other end, but it seems like nobody wants to get across that try line anytime soon.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed with that. Some great continuity. They took their time, obviously very patient with the ball, and were just working towards that try line. But Cody Blackhurst, in and out like a thief in the night, perfectly executed and gets his team out of trouble.
Seifaloy fires it through. There's James. Looks for the inside option to Nielsen, but will go himself.
No, let it! Thank you. Rucker form.
Great 1-2 to Wilson into some space. Tarabay hunts it through. Seifaloy gets it out quick. Defence from North is firing up, and now a turnover. He is certainly happy, Ethan Richards.
Number 7 is on his feet.
Yeah, I think it's his first starting cap today. He usually plays second grade, but he's definitely a Premier
Hey
League
guys,
player.
water off. Time is not off.
Maybe.
It could be.
Has come from league, so it might be his first turnover. He's another exciting player that hopefully should have a really good game today.
Off the back of his good effort, Skur's going to try find some real estate back down in Brothers' end of the field. Still locked at 0-0 as we enter into the 18th minute of play. And Hudson Crichton there wore a fantastic shot.
Time off now. Now you can have some water. Number 12 needs quite cleaned up.
You're really going to have a hard time pushing Kieran Fitzgibbon off the
Wouldn't even bother trying to move him.
And while we've got a moment here, a special mention to Green Beacon, a major sponsor of North Rugby Club for their long-term support of the club, grassroots rugby. Really interesting opening 18 minutes of the match, gents. We've seen a lot of possession for North up the other end of the field, but Brothers Dalnaver, I think off the back of that good Rowan Seifaloy boot, they've managed to grind their way back down to the other end of the field, but now we're back halfway. What's wrong?
Yeah, I think North will be a little bit disappointed. I think they played, or they had all the ball in that kind of first 10 minutes. And that's mixing opportunities to execute some points. But Rowan Saffloyd's done well to guide his team around the park and put them in a position, to score some points. But I think at the moment it's pretty evenly balanced. I think the first team to score might, dictate this first half a little bit more.
And Patrick James, the inside centre, I think he's had a really great season for Brothers in that role. He's been actually a sensational, I guess you call him a third playmaker in that back line, because you've got Tarabay's coming out playing wonderfully off the back of breakdowns. Rowan's jumping around. You often see Paddy jumping into that inside centre, number 10 position. What have you made of his performance so far this season?
Paddy James, I think he's been exceptional. You know what I mean? I think he's always good. I think he's always there and thereabouts. He leads his team around the park. He has another dimension of that 12 role. I think last year he got the top with offloads and hit-ups. So I think he's adding a really good structure to that side.
That line out was about as easy as you could ever imagine for Wilshire. The ball's won. Now they're backdooring it through the hands. But it's been intercepted. Brothers on the counter-attack. James is there off a wonderful effort from Nathan Carroll here on the left-hand side. Nielsen plows heavy into Richards. Richmond up the attacking line. Seifaloy fires it out. Danger here, and Billy Bully as he fires on the right-hand side. They're going to keep ploughing through. Good run from Wilson. They're just short. Pick and go. Brothers. Meters out. Seifaloy finds Fezler, who offloads it once more to Crichton.
Space on the left.
Tarabay, James, great hands. Wow, what a try. Left-hand side. Nathan Carroll. How was the finesse?
He certainly knows how to score a try, Nathan Carroll. He's only started playing Premier Grade this year in the last 4 or 5 games, but he's been exceptional so far. But it was a really well-structured try, and I think the boys will be pretty happy to come away with some points there.
And you've got to like both of you boys, the seat backs, that feathered, quick touching between players. It's just not something you see unanimously across this level of the competition. There's a lot of practice that goes in behind closed doors for that.
This lead up here, Hudson Crichton did very well to make that tackle, but Nate Carroll, Johnny on the spot. And from here, Rowan Saffloy just sums it up beautifully. Space down the left-hand side. Paddy James, quick hands. And Noah Nielsen, absolutely everywhere, isn't he?
Silky.
He is.
Silky Noah.
Very hard to defend that. The boys did well marking up, but there's not much you can do when you got hands like that. So
I should have too.
Well, Seifo, like we talked about last week, 7 from 7. And that wasn't just 7 in front, that was 7 from all over. He's got a little bit of wind this afternoon to deal with, but he's definitely one of the major kicking threats of this competition.
I'd even back him in here.
He's got the tallest post in the competition to kick to. He can't really miss. Cyphaloy, left-hand side.
What wind, eh?
Straight down.
You wonder why he threw 2 tufts of grass up before he kicked. Oh, back to the middle, and it will be Brothers who open up the account in the lead, 7 points to 0. Quarter of this match as well. Very interesting. 20 minutes in, first points only getting over now.
Very good to see the boys holding out for so long, not letting in soft tries. Made the Brothers work for that one, so hopefully they hit back here.
There's the start from Skur. He's put that one up nice and high. Whoa,
Good
big,
contest. No
big
hands
jump
now.
there from Nathan Carroll. Fearless. Now Brothers working it out from inside their own 40. Great 1-2, and Fesler. Wonderful leg drive. Now Richmond out the back, throws it onto the toe. It'll collect. Now out the back will be Taviri. Taviri straightens up. He's got Weir just behind him. Prendergast found Wilshire. Short side. There's the kick from Prendergast. He's seen something in back play, playing for the field position.
Not a bad option. Keep him down there half, put some pressure on him.
Now, it's a very different season this year, gentlemen. We are in round 9, so 2 weeks of regular season to go. And unfortunately, Chapo, I think it's going to be a bit too far for the Eagles to soar into Ballymore this year. But from both of you, how important is this time of the season to make sure you're really starting to iron out those little ripples and those little crooks before you get the finals?
Well, definitely it was a hard season for everyone coming off the back of COVID and everything, so we're going to use this as a platform and lead into next year. Hopefully everyone sticks around and we get a few more players, and off the back of this season, coming strong next season.
What a year it's been. Everyone did a pre-season, started, then had a second pre-season, and now we're into the actual season, and then we're going to be in pre-season again very shortly. Probably the first 18-month rugby hunt we've ever seen off the back. Sapien goes through, throws it onto the right boot. Cyphaloy's back there, calls the mark.
There's a bit of miscommunication, I think, there from the backs. There was a space there behind. We're almost pushing up, but just if the winger pushed up would be good.
Chap, I'm waiting. You're about to jump into the screen, mate.
I wanted to play this game so bad.
And it's crossfield decision for the kick. You can see what he wanted to do, Dow, but is it just a matter of timing?
Yeah, I think also Rowan read it quite well. Rowan saw what was on and then got himself back there in a position to make that kick. And then, you know, obviously it was Johnny on. It was more on the spot decision, so the wing wasn't quite flat enough. But you know, you don't mind trying those types of things in that space.
So ball back to Blackhurst for the line out.
Backwards.
Missed initially by Connor, cleaned up by Fox, now out the back. There's a good line from McDonald. Short side, Weir's up, gets the offload through to Richards, who says, I'm going to run away from that one, and I'm going to go to the right-hand side a little bit. There's Marfu, waiting to take the carry. To Vieri. Brendan is rallying the troops. Finds Fitzgibbon in close quarters, who gets taken by Murphy. Skur takes it up. Brought down. Brothers' defence impressive. Really slowing North's advance to a crawl, and now they're taking space. Good line speed from Michael Wood. Left-hand side. Is going to keep moving it to the far side over towards Shaw Road here at Hugh Courtney Oval. Big one there coming from big T-Bone Maloney.
And isn't he absolutely pumped about it, the big fella. Leading from the front, getting his team out of trouble now, an opportunity now for the boys to get down into North's half and have a crack.
Butchery erupted last week when he managed to be right place, right time at the northern end of the field. I don't know who's the bigger crowd favourite there for yelling out names, whether it's T-Bone or Huddy Crichton. I don't know which one gets more of a shout out from the fans, but we just see here good form from Maloney. Wonderful position. He's got the centre of gravity perfectly on the hips. He's balanced. He's not going to get pushed off. I guess that's a really big point there for any young kids watching. It's all about that wonderful body position that you do take, whether you can even have a go or not. Seifele inside ball.
Advantage. High, slipped up. Penalty only.
Penalty advantage. Tarek looks out. There's the kick through. Fielded by Weir. So we're going to go back to the high shot.
Number 3, high tackle.
Big opportunity here. We're talking about finals. Is this an opportunity for you to maybe go for the points here, Dallin? Would it be good practice going for your finals in a few weeks, or do you just concentrate on scoring as many as you can?
No, I think you're concentrating on getting the ball into the 22 now and executing one of your line-out moves, or if they're driving more, or still a little bit more structure around that space.
When we look at the games coming up for both these sides, Chapo, what is that?
Cody, you have an option to
Final
scrum
two
with balls
rounds.
kicked or a 22.
We got South
Option to
away
scrum with
next
balls
week,
kicked or a
which
22.
should be a good game. We came up against them before COVID hit one of the trials. It was ended up being a pretty close game, so that'll be nice. And then we finish off our season with Sunnybank at home, which is our Ladies' Day. So that will be very good. Another good day. Another big crowd we usually get each year. A few ladies down there, so
Just a few?
just a few.
Okay. So you just get to call it, it's just ladies. Days. More than one. No, very good. And the Brethren, Dallin, going into the back straight. I know that they've got to win every game that they've got going from here until the end of the competition.
Yeah, they certainly do. I think Jeeps are in the same spot. Jeeps seem to win all 3 games, or all 2 games. I think they got the bye in the last round.
1 point separating
Correct.
Jeeps and then Brothers 1 rung below. Left-hand side, strong carries from Richards off the back of the set piece. Taveri acting half. He's relieved of that duty. Prendergast fires it through. Marfu, first receiver. Cannons it up with Blackhurst accompanying him. There's the box kick. Prendergast is going to go downtown red, well out the back by Richmond, who was waiting. Runs it back into traffic, looks for the offload. Almost tried to pull off that Filippo Daungunu fake flick, which was just, it was incredible. Now the penalty going against Brothers. He's excited. Wilshire gets over the top, big turnover, and it's going to put the Eagles in a nice position. Kick to the line, trust the forwards.
Yeah, I think they'll go deep into the half and try them all here. And looking good over the last couple of weeks, so see if they can pull it off.
We talked about Matt Wilshire, 2 Matts in the second row, Matt Connor and Matt Wilshire. But Matt Wilshire, former Australian schoolboy, and obviously went across and played a bit with the Chiefs Academy over in New Zealand before coming back to Sunshine State. It's got to be a great addition for the season.
Yeah, he's bringing a lot of experience and knowledge with him back there, so our set piece has been pretty good this year, and a lot of boys learning off him, so he'll be a good addition to keep around the club.
If you're sacking, let them come to ground first, please. Guys, if you're going to more legal setup.
I think that's pretty impressive, but we're going to say, like a 6'5" guy to be mucking around at his ankles with about 4 blokes trying to knock him off. Blackhurst, critical line out here for the Eagles. Take it clean. They hit that driving maul. Blackhurst scoops around, picks it up and goes himself off the back. Wood's going to try hold him up. But he gets it out to Beery, offloads it through. Tweedy. Marfu picks and goes.
No, let it come. Tackler's got to roll first, 7.
Nielsen nearly got his mitts on that one.
Yeah,
The referee thrown and said
Go
no,
ahead,
but
hey.
Matt Murphy, what a wonderful rip
Stay out,
on the
stay
tackle.
out. Thank you, good work.
Seifele in the pocket, kicks for the exit.
Listen, 9.
Carbon copy of what we've seen all game. Wonderful clearance from Seifele. Cool, calm, collected.
And again, it just shows his experience, his understanding, but most importantly, his consistent execution across the park. Whether it's goal kicking, kicking for line, he's so confident and consistent in everything he does. But that man, Matt Murphy, what a bit of a beast, eh?
So I'm going to put the spotlight back on Mr. Cyclone. I guess this is one really interesting thing when we talk about where he started as with his rugby career, and obviously he was part of that dream team for State High in 09, playing alongside Chris Bayaway, Sortia, Curtis Browning, and they get that premiership. So he's always been in and around quality rugby players from his formative years. Even now, I believe he spent a bit of time down in Shootdown.
Do you want to line up?
Yeah, he spent a bit of time with Southern Districts down there. He's played a fair bit of NRC. It just showed his experience. I mean, he's consistent there, and I think he might even maybe have a few tests under his belt, potentially. Or some A stuff. So.
And what an electric player Nathan Carroll has been this season. I think he's one of a raft of very young outside centres, especially wingers that we've seen in the last few years for a lot of our Premier grade sides, and even getting opportunities to go and play for Reds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think him and Hunsey Crichton are very exciting prospects coming through this brother's side, and they've shown the last couple of weeks how exciting they are and the dimension they add to the side.
Tarabay out to the left. Cycloid throws the card out to Richmond, who narrowly avoids something a lot worse, but the penalty for him getting a touch up high, and now Brad Kappa
you got a penalty advantage
with a fancy new headgear. Finally opted away just from the brow tape, and he's moved to straight headgear. So a little error from the Eagles opened the door for Brothers to attack once more inside 22. You would imagine, while they've got the man with the laser-guided foot kicking. And isn't that just an interesting thing? Ron Cypher, not a huge tall guy, but what a kick he's got on.
Absolutely. I think it just comes down to that timing, doesn't it? I think you need to belt the ball or
you need to be super
long levers, but he just shows. I mean, look at that kick. He's put him inside 5 metres. You'd think the Brothers will go up here, come down into that driving maul, and hopefully put a fair bit of pressure onto this North back.
Well, they've been really loving keeping Isaac Tarabay out inside the 22. They run a nice, healthy 6+1 line out. We can see there Nielsen sitting in at halfback, so definitely itching for some set piece. Kappa takes it clean up the top. Fezler funnels around to the back, but Tarabay's had enough, shows and goes, but he can't get away from the Eagles' defence. They did well to read it. Maloney misses that one. Wonderful pass from Martin Seifler. Gets it away. Right 7 metres out.
Yeah, ball's out. Ball's out.
Maloney, the captain, picks and goes himself. 6 metres. Wilson now. Shies away from one. Gets twirling to get him just half a metre closer. Tarabay, eyes up, checking his options, right and left. Murphy, wonderful left-right pass. Cypherloy goes once more, and it is easy days for Billy Bully, who's going to surf around and get it right next to the sticks.
Be happy with that. Brothers are coming away with some more points. Well executed, patient footy. A little bit disjointed there, but I think they'll be exceptionally happy.
And we can obviously talk about Isaac Tarabay. Now, Ruben Wall was playing some sensational rugby early on. He blew that knee head against Bond. I think I was watching the game at about 2 a.m. in the morning. I nearly jumped out of bed and woke my daughter up. So I would have been in a lot of trouble. But I've been really impressed, Dallin, with how Isaac has stepped up into a big role. And this shows. Eyes up, he saw his options left and right. And he's fed a beautiful try.
I think what he's doing is he's underplaying his hand, you know what I mean? He's not trying to do too much. He's getting in there, getting the ball out nice and quickly, and just doing exactly what he has to do for this team.
Chapo, I'm going to metaphorically take you out of injury right now. If you're down there with the Eagles in between this conversion right now, what do you think your conversations with the team would be looking at?
I think one of the biggest things that we've had probably this year is just being trying to play a bit more unpredictable. At the moment, we're just hitting the forwards up and very just straight line running, trying to get some momentum, then play to the backs. But with this Brothers defence, I think we have to try and change things up, be a bit more unpredictable, and maybe go wide early, try and bend their back line a bit, and then come back on the short side. Just try a few things, because we've got a lot of exciting players out wide, as I mentioned, like Reece Devine, Alex McDonald, very strong player, and John Rubin, very fast winger coming over to the league. So I think the best thing would be trying to utilise them a bit more in space rather than just trying straight up the middle.
Cypherley goes 2 from 2. Brothers in the lead, 14 points to 0 over Norths here at Hugh Courtney Oval. 35th minute of play. Restart a ball back to Cornerstone. North's family round here, and they're wearing that wonderful Captain America strip, Chapo.
Yeah, we seem to be doing every year. We've done Spider-Man 2 years ago. We did Hulk last year.
How do you guys do Hulk? Like I feel like Jeeps and Sunnybank kind of get Hulk.
We had the blue, and then it was like pictures of the green ripping through the blue. It kind of looked pretty cool. But I think this definitely is my favourite ones, the Captain America ones. I have some good long arm sleeves, skins I was going to wear that would go well with this jersey. So
you could have worn them in the commentary box.
I was thinking about it.
You brought your dog in. Everything.
Put a jersey on him as well.
Fine. Set.
Prendergast feeds it in. And that scrum didn't move an inch coming in off his ring. Ruben gets his hands on the ball. Hasn't had too many touches this game. Brothers looking for that turnover, and they get it. I think it was the Silkman himself.
I think Noah Nielsen be happy with that, getting his team out of trouble there.
And I think it's been a real big year for some of the top teams, and we talk about sevens. I think, Michael Gunn, synonymous with a quality number 7. We know that. But when we look at Uni and Brothers, this
White
is
15, stay out. Well done.
That's just brutal. It's a brutal turnaround there. What an effective use of time and space.
It's some excellent, smart heads-up footy there from Brothers. They quick tapped, and then Hudson Crichton, ball on the left boot, plugs it down inside their own 22.
That's a very finals footy in that. Like, I think up to this point in the season, you're seeing teams, like you said before, Dallin, hunting for as many points as you can. But there is just a tactical nuance with this play that has them looking at a bigger picture.
Yeah, it certainly does. I think obviously what you want to do in finals footy is get down the other end of the field and play down there as much as possible.
And then these kinds of things happen. Fezler picks off the intercept. 1-2 to Nielsen. This is close. This is personal. Brothers,
guys, that's an extra pitch there. There's no advantage for the knock-on.
Going back to the first knock-on, but again.
And this is the fruit of that play from about 60 seconds ago, hunting for your territory, putting a team in their own website.
Yeah, it certainly does. I think Chapo attested that. When you've been down in your own half so much and you keep getting plugged back down in there, you almost start to push past a little bit. You feel the pressure. You start to tighten up a little bit as a player. So Brothers will be trying to continue to do that. And North now will be trying to get out of there as much as possible.
Well, we have to talk about the forwards here, boys. It's been a real even contest. I haven't seen any penalties given away from short or
fine.
No, they've been really, really close. So
set.
Be interesting to see how it goes in the second half when the lactic acid starts kicking in.
Bit of a cartwheel on that one, and a slamming hit from Tweedy on Tarabay.
Just got to support your body weight there to be rewarded.
Punishes the half-back into the turf. There's Murphy. Fitzgibbon nearly holds him up, but doesn't finish the tackle. Murphy grabs an extra metre. And now a penalty, huge from Tonga Mafu.
Very strong over the ball there. Another one you wouldn't want to be trying to do too much.
He's a big club man here, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's been good the last couple of years. He got unlucky, I think it was 2 years ago. Did his ACL right before NRC, which was a bit devastating, but he's seemed real healthy now, real fit. So.
He's featured both for Queensland Country and Brisbane City I guess since the dawn of NRC. I don't know if the sun is set on that competition now. I guess we'll have to wait and see post-COVID, but he's a quality player that you really have to be aware of when you're playing against him.
Absolutely.
But he certainly looks fit, Chapo, as you said before. He looks lean. He looks like he's been working pretty hard, and I think it's showing in his game.
Oh, absolutely. He's getting around the park now. I think he's been playing 80 minutes most games, which is really good. I think we got a few photos of him back when he was younger with a six-pack. So.
Yeah.
He probably gets a six-pack, which just KFC these days.
Exactly.
Does not mind the dirty bird, Tonga Mafu. What a character. Now, out the right, East. They're inside their own 22. They've got a bit of territory to make up. Overlap looking good. Reuben plows away right-hand side. Throws it onto the left-hand side of the field. It is a foot race. Prendergast is going. Oh! 22. It's those moments, boys, when you're playing and you hear those footsteps coming behind you. Billy Bully knew what was coming and he just had to keep his eyes on that ball and get it grounded.
That's it. No, bit of pressure there.
Would you pad that play again? Would you see Reuben go the kick or just run it?
I think you'd like to see him just hold on to that ball. I think you haven't had the ball much and take it down, recycle it, and then go again.
I'd be pretty confident with him one-on-one beating defenders. So
just like Skur there, beats one, throws it onto the right-hand shoe. Oh, and Richmond. Grease Lightning, what a spin out. Holds on to it. Brothers in possession, just inside their own half.
Time.
Final seconds of the first half. Brothers might just be trying to wear it down and get to the sheds. They backdoor it, and Cypheloid taps it into the wonderful, spatially distant and COVID-safe crowd here at Hugh Courtney. It is half-time. Brothers in the lead, 14 points to 0 over the home side. North. What a first half, gentlemen. We'll start with you, Chapo. What are your big moments in the first half?
I think starting off in the first pretty much 20 minutes, the amount of pressure they put on Brothers, which was good, made them work for a bit more, didn't leak any early tries. I think they switched off mentally there with a few, let Brothers get down the field pretty easy, getting a few points, but as long as they keep composure and come back in the second half as the way they started, I think there'll be a tight finish.
Well, there's definitely been some awesome playmakers within this north side. We're seeing elements like when they get a roll on Brothers, they're struggling to try and slow it down, but it seems like it's just in those momentary laps that Brothers are really switching on and they're making it hurt. Dal, when we do look at this Brothers side, it's looking pretty tidy at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think they're well balanced in this team they currently got. The forwards are going well up front. They're getting some good punch. And then Rowan Saffroy is just controlling things in and around the park really well.
Well, boys, while we are at half-time and Matho takes probably what is a very, very happy knee in the middle of that, so we're going to look at the scores from around the ground. Amazingly, Sunnybank 24, trailing Bond 28, which is their final play of the second half. East are up 14 points to 8 over West, and Souths are behind 7 points to 19 against Deep. So some interesting games across the board, and I think last week in particular, West beating Deep was probably the upset of the round.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think they'll be looking to do the same thing over there today at East. Obviously, it's always a grudge match, East versus West, but they're up for it and be looking to come home with a wet sail after their pretty rough start to the year. I think they've been in games where they probably should have won a lot more. But
I think that's been a bit of a thing with West the last few years. I think the last 2 or 3 seasons, they have been the team with the most bonus points accumulated, whether that be, and it's usually from 7 points or less the score, so they get very close. It's just about icing the cake, but Carl Marshall's over there now at the kennel, and I hear he's doing good things.
Yeah, he's doing good things. I think he's finally starting to find his feet. Some consistency with the boys he's putting out each week, and they've just got a really big, solid forward pack that's taking forward quite well.
Well, boys, it's half-time here. We're going to take a short break, but for everyone at home, check out this video during the week here at North.
So down at North tonight, ahead of the Round 9 All Sports Physiotherapy Hospital Challenge Cup match of the round between North's brothers with North's captain Cody Blackhurst. Cody made a business of Northside Derby. It's not hard to get up for this one.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, whenever you verse brothers, especially Northside Derby, everyone gets up for it. Everyone's really looking forward to it, especially at home. Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Now, mate, obviously a rough result against UQ last week, mate. That probably isn't the North team that we've seen so far this year. How do you bounce back from that?
Yeah, so over this week we've just looked at, sounds cliche, but just getting back to basics. So, I think we're trying to overcomplicate things, so we've just simplified it, got back to basics, and we're going to hit the ground running this Saturday.
And mate, family day here at North, you guys are wearing a special Captain America themed jersey, mate, a special occasion with obviously a massive junior contingent here at the club. It's always a big event here at Shore Road.
Yeah, it is, especially the superhero round. I mean, all the juniors get around. Last year we did the Hulk, this year we're doing Captain America. It's just good for everyone. And then we have a online auction after the game, which everyone gets around. So yeah, it's a really good time.
And mate, obviously a special chance to, I suppose, to celebrate rugby here at North, mate, in what's been a pretty trialling year for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, just excited to play rugby again. Getting back down to just be around the boys, be around the club, and yeah, again, just play rugby.
Now, mate, as we've mentioned, the North and Brothers rivalry, it's a big one. What are you guys sort of taking out of your last match against them at the start of the season as you head into this week's match?
Yeah, so, with Brothers, always physical, always good around the breakdown. So that's what we've tried to scale back and just simplify. So, hit the rucks hard, hit people hard, and play tough footy.
All right, thanks so much, and best of luck on the weekend.
Thanks a lot, Sauce. Cheers.
It is half-time here at Hugh Courtney Oval. I'm Mun Lippiett. Joining me is Dallin Murphy, and calling his dog Max, it's the one and only Nick Chapman. Gentlemen, wonderful first half. This one could go either way. It's still very close.
Yeah, it's certainly good. I think Norths are very much still in this game. They've showed some, not glimpses, but shown some really good quality football. They put themselves in positions to come away with points. They just quite haven't done so.
Just got to cross those T's and dot those
Yeah, they
I's.
certainly do, and I think Brothers have been quite good at executing when they get down into North's half. Obviously led by that great man there, Rowan Saffalo, who's been very, very impressive, I think, all day and across the park. He's controlling the game really well and playing at Brothers' pace.
And you hear the Eagle call for what is probably the fourth or fifth time, and it means second half is only seconds away. Saifalo will get proceedings well and truly started here for the second half. Now round 9. Hospital Challenge Cup sponsored by All Sport Physiotherapy for 2020. On the right hand side, Ruben, wonderful offload through to Prendergast. Goes, Tarabay can't get him, Richmond's in his wake, and that's a big try to the Eagles. Opening 30 seconds, second half. We're going to need to see a replay to figure out what just happened.
23 seconds, I thought. 23 seconds it was, not 30. But that's right.
Oh, Chapo, you're here. You're here. I don't know where you've been for the last 40 minutes, but you're here. Mate, what a try, Chapo.
That's exactly how we needed to start the second half after coming the Brothers' attack at the end of the first half there. So
it's not often we get a replay straight from the kickoff, but Chapo, you're running us through this from start to finish.
Well, it's good, good, clean taking the air from Reese there. Bit of go forward from the forwards from Manny Wilshire, and then, as I said, danger man out wide, Johnny Rubin. All they need to do is give him the ball, and went for the pass there, not the kick through. So good support from Prendy, as a good 9 should. Straight
some mentions from what's being discussed up here from you two. Finally fields it down to half time. But no, it's a big moment. We saw Hudson Crichton, he missed that integral first tackle there early, and it seems like Jonathan Rubin, he's a strong ball runner. You've got to stop him early in the piece because it's going to be hard to deal with later.
Absolutely.
I think Prendergast summed it up beautifully there, though. Just saw his man had some space out wide, got him the ball nice and early, and allowed him to kind of use his footwork there, get to the outside of Hudson, and utilise that speed that John O'Rubin has.
And we also acknowledged he had 2 support runners inside and out, so it wasn't like he was strapped for ideas. So good following up by North, following the pass. Groundhog Day. Saifaloy sends it back through, puts a bit more distance on it this time. And there's the exit from Prendergast. Thank you for joining us here at Hugh Courtney Oval. It's been a blistering start. Second half, instant try and conversion for the Eagles. Early off half-time, you must think that Luke Oxford had some pretty inspirational things to say at half-time.
Yeah, I went in there for a second, heard a bit of the chat, and it was very get the boys fired up, which he always does. So.
I'm surprised you didn't punch a hole in the monitor after that try, Chapo. There goes Murphy. Saifalo finds Crichton, who gets the offload through to Richmond. Murphy once again.
No hands! Tackle's got to roll!
North's got to be careful here not to give away a penalty, being sloppy at that breakdown. Saifalo gets the offload through to Kappa. Pick and go around the fringes from Wilson. Pops it up. They're going to keep going to the left-hand side. Oh, James, that was a real floaty pass out in front for Savello, who caught it clean. Wilson on a good line. Hit hard by Mafu. Saifalo goes, burrows in like a tick, but he won't get past the blue wall of defence. Left-hand side, James back on the inside of Richmond into space. Beats 2, 3. Richmond is over. Strike time to Brothers.
Sharp play there by Brothers. Liam Richmond had his hand in a few plays, but Paddy James and Liam Richmond linking up on that inside there. Stixie showing his way around the park nicely.
Richmond does not like sideburns. What a wonderful try for him. And we've seen it the last few weeks. He's really loved sitting off the hip of Paddy James, and he picks that inside or outside channel. And Paddy James, he knows that he's going to be there. We've seen him break the line a few times like that.
Yeah, he certainly does, and I think you talked about it earlier. Marty, with the different playmakers in this space. I think Liam Richmond at fullback gives him that extra role. He pops up in all the right places and does that, second playmaker to come into that back line.
Look, Aiden Toa, he's doing it for East. You often see Aiden jumping up into the 10 position. You see Scotty Gale when he's on the field. He'll jump in at the 10 if he's on the field as well. So we're seeing all these teams, the top tier ones there, they've got multiple people in that back line that can deliver it around the park. Zyphaloy right in front. Kicks it through the tallest rugby posts in this part of the country. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty clean. And Richmond's run a fantastic line. Gets away from 1, 2, 3 defenders. I'm sure I'll probably code that later tonight to tell you how many. But it's the response they needed to have after that initial try. From Horse. There's the restart from Skur. A lot of jump, a lot of catch there. And it will be tackled down on the left-hand side. They're going to move it, but wayward pass.
No.
We're disappointed with that, brothers. I think it's important to execute that exit play. Get back down into North's half.
It'll be interesting to see subs when we'll see them come on. We're seeing some teams, we're seeing Jeeps like to bring them on a little earlier, around the 55-minute mark. Brothers brought on a whole load of them last week going in the game was well and truly won, but I'll be interested to see how long both these sides are going to run these starting 15s out before we start seeing some fresh meat coming off the bench.
You're offside. Outside the 15.
Good lines from Twee. They're keeping it alive through Taviri, who displays some sensational leg drop. Let Mafu, he's isolated. Nielsen is hovering. Flying the barbecue dinner, looking for that turnover. This goes to the right. He's got players lining up. On the left, there's a good shot from Richards. Plays it towards his support. Norths grinding their way. Taviri picks and goes with Fox on the hip, and Blackhurst joins it too. This is getting held up. I think there's our first substitution also for Brothers on the field. And it's Tom Jeffries there, who's been actually a really impactful player for them off the bench in the last few rounds.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's a big beast of a man.
You've got a smile on your face. I feel like there's a story.
No, it's just all the Jeffries boys are excellent human beings. I think obviously younger brother to Sam is currently playing over in Japan, but Tom's got a lot of talent. Spent some time with the Kangaroos in the AFL. Just come back from that last 2 years. He's getting his foot back into rugby, and mate, he's an impressive specimen. And I think he adds a whole other dimension to this brother's side. He's big, tall, he's fast, excellent hands. So watch for him to continue to grow.
Yeah, I knew there was a story there. You're just itching to tell it.
Chapo, you're getting quite animated next to us here.
Yeah.
What are you seeing out there that you feel like North is doing that they're not?
Oh, just when they get good go forward from players like Kenny and Tonga. There's a few holes around there. It'd be good to see a few of the big boys run some hard lines off 9. It just makes that extra metres rather than just going back into our structure.
And our first scrum penalty of the day, and if Rowan Seifel is kicking it across Shaw Road, doesn't describe the pain as a back you'd see from that one. I don't know what else does. Huge push from the Norths forward, and it has scored them the first scrum penalty of the match, which is pretty impressive after 50 minutes of play.
It certainly is. They caught brothers napping there, but credit to the North scrum, nice and strong. Just straight through front row.
Yeah, I'm on this side.
To see if they go for another scrum or go for the line out here.
Maloney, a couple of shades of pink as he popped out of that scrum.
And he's probably a little bit sunburnt,
Yeah. He looked a bit
fair
like
skin, man.
He just
It's
reminded
tough
me of,
getting out there in the spring, mate. Tell you what, you don't have sunscreen on your face.
No, you
Just get into your eyes.
Mate, we're talking about this at half time. Says the guy's rolled up, exposing the ankles on his jeans
Well,
right
mate, you've
now.
got to be. You know what I mean?
Slip, slop, slap. I had visions of that Ace Ventura moment where he's coming out of the rhino as he popped out of that scrum. Quality Jim Carey. Blackhurst. North in a striking position. Take it clean. They're going to engage the driving more. Blackhurst.
Keep it up.
Pivots round to the back, getting the go-ahead from Prendergast. He's at the back, staying bound on. Jeffries is trying to work his way through. Nielsen gives him a shove. It's starting to go towards the post. They're really close. North are there, Blackhurst. But Maloney has gotten through the middle, but I don't think it will be enough. Looks like they're going to come back for the penalty.
Collapsing the ball. Hey, it's only been one back.
I have to say, that's a pretty impressive driving maul coming in
scrum's
from nearly getting all the way into the post with the drive, so they stayed really committed to the end.
Yeah, we've been working on it a lot this season with our driving maul, so it's good to see that the structure and the set piece is working. It just would have been good to see them go over there.
Talk us through the relationship between your backs and your forwards, especially around the set piece, Chapo, when you just have to, you know, sit on your heels and back the forwards in.
Well, yeah, I think as backs we know that we can only play good footy and exciting footy off front football from the forwards, so giving them the opportunity to go forward and get some good set pieces, always got to be patient. It's always good to see them get some meat as well.
Yeah, we're brave enough to weigh in on how they're doing.
I'll leave it to the experts.
Use that now, please.
Smart man. Smart man. And Brothers have come away with it. Savello that time. Now they're going to go to the left side. Floyd, they're reloading off the boot of Crichton downtown. They'll collect touch into what I can impressively say is no longer a bog on the eastern side of the field.
Yes.
Nothing was funnier than being here on a rainy day and seeing some poor front wheel car get stuck up to the chassis rails, and you kind of say they'll get out when it dries off in a week's time, but kudos to North.
Yeah, that was a good day. I think a few years ago when I saw it completely flooded. Couple of
I actually think that might have been a game against Brothers. I actually have some memory of that. I think it was raining quite a lot out here, but it's yeah.
I think they've done the bank up from the river over there, so I don't think it floods too much anymore. A bit of drainage.
And your oval's green as Hugh Courtney, ticking all the boxes. Now off the back quickly, Skurs got it, fires it to the outside, straightening up with McDonald. They've got penalty advantage, Brothers. There from the knock on, I beg your pardon, but Fezler is breaking away. He is at top-notch speed. Fezler, he's got a grin from ear to ear. Fezler!
Wow! Matty Fezler, take a bow.
I think Matt Fezler hit top speed with about 20 metres to go. And what I liked the most, he didn't look back. He just kept his eyes forward because he knew that that was the only way he was going to get there.
It's a long way to run.
Mate, he's blowing hard.
For anyone.
The man, the magic man, Matt Fezler, getting it done in the line out. I think he's even giving half of his outside back. That's probably the best full field run we've seen from any player on the field.
Certainly, he's quite opportunistic here. Forced the pass and just lands in his hands. Plenty of work to do. There's the 60. There's the 50. He's got a lot of work to do.
Mate, in 1 week's time, he's going to run from the opposite try line to the other end. This is huge.
That's a really cookie up there. I think he's just glad to get the ball down.
Yeah. I mean, Matt Weir came in a little bit high on that tackle too. He's going to have jelly legs.
But he's been a consistent performer this year for Brothers. I think he's been very, very impressive across all games. I think he's leading from the front. As we said before, you know, he's the highest completion rate out of any hooker in the competition.
No, he's probably got the most run meters for any hooker in the competition now.
That was going to be my next point. I think it's not just limited to this game. He's carrying the ball really well and giving, you know, almost like a third back rower there, or a fourth back rower to carry the ball across the bench.
But isn't that the case of the modern day game now? You need to have 2 to 4 players that are all threats at the breakdown because it gives you a bit more of an advantage when you're defending. Cypher-Loy, wow. Pulled it. Hell of a kick though. So the score, Brothers 26 against North 7. And what's been quite a spirited battle of the North between these two sides as we enter into the 55th minute of play here at Hugh Courtney Oval. Connor Skir, he might not have kicked that one far enough. So we're back to the middle for a scrum, which isn't something that North would be too sad
Never
about.
went 10 metres.
No, not really, but
Okay.
silly little mistakes after leaking some points is not the greatest.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be very happy with that. Obviously, putting his team back under pressure now, it's never a nice feeling being a 10 and not executing that kick-off. So,
Got a moment here. A special mention to Ray White Ascot, Queensland legal major sponsors for Brothers Rugby Club, their long-term support of the club, and grassroots rugby. Scrum time, dead centre of the wicket.
Crouch.
Isaac Tarabay will feed it in.
Fine.
Even spread for the brothers' backs.
Set.
Left they go. Cypher. Brighton hit hard by Ruben. Nielsen feathers
No,
another one
now.
off.
Let it come.
This time to Savello. On the left, James speeds it off. This is quick down the left-hand side. We've been waiting for this. A little eruption of speed from Carroll. And this time Crichton slides into the mix as well. North trying to effect a turnover. They're going to look to the left-hand side, slicing through. Crichton wants to get the offload, but all he does is feed it right into the hands. Nathan Tweedy. Backdoor and clearance kick from the Eagles. Get them out of harm's way. Another few periods.
they're starting to find a little bit of space down that left edge, especially coming back off the sideline, the short side.
We've got two guys down, flank around a winger off the sideline here. Let's see if we get this up.
Now we've got a bit of time off and we can talk about the attacking strategy. Looks like we've got also another substitution here for Brothers off the bench as well. So we're starting to see these players rotate in, and players who've been on the field for the whole time come off. Big Michael Palmer jumping in. Our referee today, Brett Cronin. I think we all are really underestimating how warm it is this time of year to be playing 80 minutes of... See, sevens, I get sevens? Okay, fair. But as a forward, I could think of nothing worse right now than having to pack down at 3 o'clock in the afternoon amongst 7 other giant bodies to pack a scrum.
Marty, I don't think I'm underestimating anything. Like, I think it's extremely hot out there, as I said before.
Yeah.
You need sunscreen. The boys are going to be severely dehydrated.
Or they're going to be coming out of this season severely bronzed. There'll be a couple of pretty boys out there that will be looking at the upside of this. They'll enjoy their strapping taped hands.
Backwards, off white.
Tarabay manages to clean that one up. It's at the back. There's Jeffries having a hit up. On the right, Nielsen met hard by Wilshire.
Yeah, ball did come out.
1-2 to Wilson. Tarabay, Seifel, inside ball to Wood.
Barney's just a knock on.
Knock on from the Eagles. James throws it onto the left boot. It's a foot race down there. It's going to come off.
Ball's taken back and put dead.
22, that looks like Joshua on the field. So, great opportunity here. And Dallin, it's what you're talking about. It's just that consistent pressure eventually will lead to
Balls
cracks.
come from the field of play.
Yeah, it certainly is. And being camped out on inside your own half is never nice for anyone. And you put yourself under a little bit more pressure, as we said, start to tighten up. All North will be looking to do is just get out of here as soon as possible.
And then that probably funnels right into Brothers' play. So sweet, we got set piece inside the 40, which means that we can have another go at counter attack. In this case, it's going to be 5 metres out.
Fine.
Overall, scrums have been quite impressive today, gents. We've only seen the one penalty come, so both sides are really holding up their ends quite well. There's just been, it's like I said, down a lot of action happening down that left-hand or from our vision here, the far side of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good to see good, clean scrums. There's not too many resets, in and out. The game's flowing really well, and it's adding to the whole spectacle.
When we talk about flowing game, I hear your brother's over having his commentator. He's refereeing the game at Sunnybank. What a game that is. Sunnybank scoring just before half-time to give them the lead going into the break. I hear him and Tom Lucas rekindling old fires together. And apparently it's good listening, good banter from the boys, which is what you like to see.
It's always good to have good banter, I think. It's a great part of the game. I think it's something that everyone should embrace.
I'm still flabbergasted. It's the end of September and we're still playing the 15-man game. But how exciting for everyone in this part of the world, not only Brisbane but Australia, all of the international rugby that we're going to be seeing in the coming months.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're all very, very excited about that. Everyone was pumped just to have some rugby on the TVs the last couple of months with Super AU, which was a huge success, and now they'll be pumped to see some international rugby.
Good push here from Brothers. There's the arm from Cronin. Now off the back. Brothers are going to try and have a go. They've got the advantage, but that ball will go back to them.
Under pressure.
So a good nudge up front. I think Michael Palmer's brought a lot, and there he is right now, having a hit up. He's been driving to the left. Tarabay looks at his options out the back. James once more into the man in the corner, and he will get over. That is a wonderful try to Nathan Catt.
Jumping over there for his second try, but it's that short side coming into about that 10-15 metre mark, but they're finding a lot of space down that short side as they come back each time.
Paddy James, once again, he was the grease man in the middle to set it up, and you often talk about it's the try assist, which is the guy that really gets those things across the line. I think Paddy James has had his hand in quite a few of them this season.
Yeah, he certainly has. I think in these last couple of tries they've scored, Paddy's really stepped up in that first receiver role, putting away Liam Richmond, and now, you know, Nathan Carroll won't probably score an easier try in his career.
We see it here on the left-hand side. Ascendancy at scrum time really helped Brothers out. Then they quickly went once more on the left. Just reading what's in front of him ever so clear, and the players just know to be in the space that he creates.
Really did well at dragging us in there. We just got short on the outside again, so we've got to get some bit of outside chat from our outside backs just to number up.
Seifaloy almost back for a repeat of last conversion, and he wasn't successful, which I'm sure he's going to be a little bit salty about, because he seems like he's quite a rehearsed individual.
Oh, absolutely. Filthy on himself for missing that one. Looking to get one back right here.
Still see that green beacon banner in the background. It's flailing in the wind. Seifaloy, left-hand side of the field. He's got his sights tuned. And his Brothers extending the lead, 33 points to 7 as we enter the final quarter of this round 9 match. Starting to see a few more substitutes come on for both sides. And Anthony Matson, I think you'll be pretty happy with the performance thus far.
He certainly will be.
Sturt will collect the bounce. Wood will be the final recipient. Wilshire going in also with number 20. Carson Den Hurt.
Advantage over.
Another substitution for this north side. Seifaloy couldn't hold on to that wayward pass from Tarabay before he gets around to throw it on the right. Send it downtown where Weir will be there to collect. Weir begins the trot out of his own half, throws a grubber at the butcher's stripe defensive line ahead of him, but follows up with a great tackle on Tarabay. Pick and go, Fesler gets it away through to Carroll, who dinks it through himself, and now Norse once again back in their half. Bit of an ankle breaker from Richards will get him through the defensive line. Taviri now. Box kick from Prendergast goes long. Seifaloy waited out the back, feeds it off to Richmond, who throws in one of his own. Causey backs as well and truly underway, and Richmond will get a wonderful kick deep into the 22. for the Eagles. Send it out, touch themselves. And we're seeing a lot of this in these games at the moment, gentlemen. The fours-y backs with the kicking, and there's a lot of... Is that something that you guys have to practice a lot? Because I guess there's tactics of how you want to play that game with your opposing outside backs.
Yeah, definitely. It also depends on who you're versing, the way you want to play that. And with our back three, I would like to see, even if they a couple of times run it back and find a bit of space on the outside, which they did early in the first half. So a few of those kicks are just shifting the ball back and not really doing anything.
Do you guys think that that is sometimes the problem that we not only see at this level, but you get up into the high levels, you see these kicking duels start, and it's almost more difficult for them to opt out of the kicking duel and have a run than to keep going?
Yeah, 100%. I think you saw it a lot in AU this year in the Super, that a lot of teams are running it back and it was a bit more exciting and found some space, which was really good. So,
Dallin?
Yeah, potentially. I think at times you're looking to get that benefit from the kick. I think we just saw then, brothers were able to kick in behind him and find some space and end up with a pretty good result. But obviously you don't want to see teams kicking back and forth to each other. I think if you're kicking with purpose, you've got a game plan, it makes a big difference. But
I guess the other 12 blokes just end up sitting in the middle watching go. The head just
goes,
exactly. Whenever you're ready, guys. Whenever you're ready.
I'm a big fan of the up and under and chase yourself.
I think that's more of an execution as well.
Advantage, knock on off Red.
Knock on there from Dan Hurd, so brothers with the advantage. It'll be their scrum.
You see Ethan Dobbins coming on the field for Matt Fesler, reserve hooker.
I guess now we can also, as we've been talking about, we look at finals going in the future, and brothers with a win today, it's definitely going to put them on the right course to getting themselves into the finals. As a coach, how important is it having, especially with the forwards, Dallin, that reliable reserve front row to come on and make sure you can ice the cake? And you'll agree with this too, Chapo, if you don't have that, then it doesn't matter what superstars you've got in the back line if it's being lost up front.
Oh, 100%. I think these days, you probably find your front row plays, 60 to 65 minutes. Majority of them, you might find the odd one who played 80 minutes, but having those fresh legs, especially late on in the half, with regards to scrums, is just so imperative. Set piece is massive coming in the finals.
James off the hands of Cyphaloy.
No, let it come 7. Just missed it the first time.
Through to Jeffries. Referee Brett Crony giving a little bit of leeway there for hands-on at the breakdown. James just holds on to that one, tips of his fingers, gets the offload to Tarabay into space, gets wrapped up by his opposite. Nielsen acting half. Jeffries. It's Den Hearn. Now to the short side. James, he likes it. Left shoe, but it's going to find nothing. Cody Blackhurst shin.
No hands though.
Tarabay once more. Nielsen tips it on, fresh legs Jeffries. Had a wonderful trot in the second half. Cyphaloy, back door, right boot, kicks it through. Weir's back there, he's got a bit of work to do because he's got nothing but butcher strikes around him. Gets the offload, there's the kick, will it exit? It's going to hit the brakes as it hits that turf.
This is carried back.
Norths maintain. It is carried back, they can't kick it for touch or they're kicking for exit. Weir's put a nice kick on that. Rule number 1, you don't let it bounce, it'll give them time. Left-hand side, here comes Carroll. Size it up, show, go, but he is met by nothing but a mean Josh Hook shoulder. There's Savello kicking and going. Tarabay now squares it up, finds James on a good line. Tarabay on the inside.
Advantage knock on.
Ball's lost forward. Couple of wobbly wheels. Appearing to be so, Weir throws it wide. Murmurs from the crowd, but they're going to let it play. It's their home day. Running it through there with Tapine. Box kick from Prendergast downtown. Cyphaloy's there. He'll let it bounce once before he centres it up back to Carroll. Carroll looking on the left. He's got Richmond up who throws it on the boot himself. Game. It's a bit of a lull now. Both teams feeling each other out about what the next move is. And there's Weir to get it started once more. The Eagles soaring over the top. Try to seal that one off, but it is pitched in the process. Brothers now on the counter-attack. What's it got? Tarabay. To Wood, who gives it once more. And there's Big Palmer. Where's Fitzy when you need him? Cypherloy jitters and jives, breaking ankles, breaking hearts, gives it away to Bully. Bully is through. And that was just a little bit of special.
It certainly was. We don't quite often see Rowan Safloy utilise his running game all that much. He distributes really well, controls the game with his kicking game. But this here, I think you'll see is something very, very, very special from that man. But Billy Bully, the man on screen, he'll be happy. He'll be extremely happy. He's made his Premier Grade debut this year. A couple of times now starting. He's really cemented himself in that number 11 position. And the Cairns product would be absolutely thriving.
Who wouldn't be after being outside of this magnificent display?
You see here, just left rang. Oh, absolutely breaking ankles. I just took it to the line there, and Billy Bully does exceptionally well to finish. The boys will be over the moon about that.
I'm sure Michael would have taken some credit for, for the try assist. And then the 1-2. As like you said, Dallin, what a huge effort from Cypherloy. He sucks up about two defenders right in front of him, and all of a sudden the cover defence is coming in, more worrying about if he's going to keep going forward. Billy Bully's just got to hold his position out wide, stay true, get through and get the 5 points.
That's exactly right. And the man on screen, I have no doubt, will put this over for another 2 points.
And I think the beautiful tall posts here at Hugh Courtney just make how wonderful this setting is this afternoon on this wonderful spring day. Playing some rugby after a time when not much else has been going on. It's just good times. Cypherloy, right-hand side. He's got it tuned in from the other side of the field. Now he's got to try and get the opposite correction on this side. The score is 38 points to 7. Brothers in the lead over Norths here. As we go, final 10 minutes of play. It's a big uphill battle here, Chapo, for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of lack of concentration in the second half. A few missed opportunities and just getting a bit lazy in defence, especially that short side, which Brothers are definitely tapping the well on that. So
it started hot to trot.
Hopefully they can pick it back up these last 10 minutes. Get some more points on the board.
Tarabak. Show and go. From one of the new substitutions for Brothers, I believe that's Ethan Dobbins on the field. Now Cypherloy trying his hand once more at a run into contact. Pick and go from Wilson. Wilson gets a wonderful offloading turn, and Brothers are keeping this alive. Oh! For that pass. And a little bit forward.
Certainly was. I think it's more than a little bit.
Oh, and this could be a bit of a blow here. Nathan Tweedy's down in back play. Definitely been one of the performers for the Eagles today. Tweedy's had some good runs, good contact, and you just don't want to see it.
Oh, he's an absolute workhorse all year. He's just been doing his job, playing 80 minutes, getting around the park, get some good turnovers. He's definitely someone you want to keep around.
And in the Brothers huddle right now, we can see captain, former Rebels, plays for Wild Knights, halfway player, and he's fresh back from playing Major League Rugby in the States. Big Tommy T-Bone Maloney, Dallin. What do you think the conversations he'd be having at this point with the team would sound like?
I think it'll definitively be, keep your foot on the pedal, don't let off here, try and execute and come away with some more points. I think Brothers will be looking to keep to their structures, and start to put some foot forward for the next couple of weeks.
And leaving the field there will be Isaac Tarabay. What a wonderful touch. And now I do see another Tarabay on this lineup, and I'm just going to hazard a guess and say that we've just traded a Tarabay for a Tarabay.
We certainly have. His younger brother George out there today.
Fine.
Could have really been funny if he wore the same headgear. Just really thrown a spanner in the works. So that back Renegade towards down. Shows and goes. Backdoor Weir's come up now into the line this time. There's the offload, but no one was ready to receive it. Skur misses it. Nielsen cleans it up. Tarabay. George, that is. Oh, that is a mincing hit from Malik McDonald. business up the front, party out the back hairstyle. Very good to see from an inside centre. And now Blackhurst forces the penalty. Finds the turnover, so the Eagles not quite done yet. A lot of real estate between them and Brothers right now, but they're in front of the home crowd here on Family Day, so they're going to try everything they can to finish with a bang.
Entry by one.
Bang! Poor old Billy Bully just got a whole forward, just got cut in half by Alec McDonald in that tackle. Another substitute coming on for
Henry Lennon joining the field.
Is he, you know Henry very well?
Henry's a Churchy product.
Musician?
No relation to John.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be.
Potentially, yeah.
Be nice to be.
Yeah, sure, with profitable reasons.
Yes.
And here we go. Eagles off the back of successful line out, trying their hand to try and find some more points. Only points coming at the beginning of this second half.
Release tackler.
More substitutes coming on. Off for Bono in the number 19 jersey. There's another good run there. Dan Hurt. Blackhurst at the back.
Penalty advantage, red.
He's got Taviri and the penalty advantage. It's the time of the game where Brothers, they've got to practice. You can't be giving things away in this back 20 minutes, because especially when we get to finals time, it's that back 20, that back 10 is where games are made and broken. Bono that time. Fires it through. There's another run from Wilshire. Another big member of this match day side for the Eagles. Tries his hand at breaking the line, but he's read impeccably by Maloney. Pick and go from Prendergast before he gets
Tommy Jeff.
Tommy Jeffries is a mobile man.
Certainly is.
They're going to bring him back for that penalty. Tommy Jeffries is definitely the kind of player you want coming off that bench, because he has just brought a whole bunch of logs in the second half.
He certainly has. I think the other man who's a bit of an unsung hero for this Brothers team is big Will Wilson. He's made his run on debut this year and has been quite exceptional. I think his work around the park and the way he carries the ball, he does a lot of the shitters, and I think that really adds to this Brothers pack.
And he's been an 80-minute man, and that's a big deal if you're a new player into this and you're playing in this competition. 80-minute man, especially when there's a lot of scrum and line-out activity that you're very useful for. It's a big shout-out for him. I think you're 100% right. He's just
absolutely.
We got Northie on the side here. Looks like about to come on. He played, I think, a full game in second grade and is backing up, so he'll be coming on as loose the tight head, I think.
Big line-out take there from Wilshire up high. Now the Eagles, they're going to try their hair. They're driving more. I have to say, looks like it's a little bit cold at the moment. It's starting to heat up, and now a penalty given away. Michael Palmer not coming in through the gates. Now the Eagles start piling in the pick and go option now. They're going to keep driving their way closer to the line. There is Taviri. Ball's been lost.
Hey, let it go, please, gents. No one go in. 4, stay out. Come on, guys.
Taviri that time.
Swim up the side for a second, but you got
calling him out.
Forward to this next line out, Chapo.
Scrum's cool, guys.
Zesty.
Bit of fire going on. One thing I'd like to see them do is when they got the penalty advantage is even go wide and try something while they got the advantage and give it a crack.
Ideally, though, if we took injuries out of it, that's when you'd love to just have it for the rest of Matt Titini. Just loitering out wide, just going, hello.
Nice crossfield kick to him or something. Would be...
17.
Another one of the ones in the casualty ward this season. Yeah.
Yes. I think he's coming off the calf and hammy as well. I think he played a bit of minutes in second grade today coming back. But
excellent.
Fine.
I think everyone's just going to be putting a big fat asterisk next to 2020. I think everyone's just going to be keen to get into 2021.
Okay, is it?
Keep doing some good work. all around Australia when it comes to that dreaded coronavirus. That time we saw McDonald taking it up blind. Taviri goes through. Taviri drives. Taviri is over. Big try to the number 8.
He's been crucial for us this year. Just his strength and his go forward he gets us is unbelievable.
On top of that, it looks like he's just been a real big utility player. He's really getting in, and I think as Dallin said before with Will Wilson, he's one of these players for North that they're doing the dirty work, gets in there and just gets the job done, and it's good to see him finally get a bit of pay.
Yep, I think he got fired up a bit there, that last breakdown with one of those brothers players, so I think he was looking for that to get that over.
Well, we've still got 3.5 minutes left, and the score is North's 12, 38. So still a few more opportunities here for the Eagles to try and close the deficit down. And Dallin, run us this one off the back.
I think like Chapo said, he was pretty fired up after that last breakdown, and mate, just exceptional running. Leg drive and post-contact meters there were through the roof, and it's great to see him. I think he's been very, very strong today for North, and it's a well-deserved try.
There's the restart. It'll be cleaned up by the Eagles. Trying to hand a bit of running now. We're in some open space. Foreign territory for the 15. He's been almost caged up a little bit by this brother's defence today. He's had a few runs. Now it's a good meaningful touch. Now Mafu, who's hit hard by Maloney. Blackers through the back. Shimmy, shimmy. They're going to keep moving. Right-hand side. This is very tidy from the Eagles. Pulling away. Here's Tapu, and he gets the offload once more to Prendergast. And that is just a little bit of icing on the top of this cake for the Eagles as we approach full time. Wonderful stuff.
It just shows what this team, North's team, can actually do if they start playing together, a bit of communication. So it'd be good to see this a bit earlier in the game, but some good footy there.
And it's really interesting, Chapo, that man, Reece Tapine, is that how you say Tapine?
Yeah.
He's obviously been very exceptional for you guys this year, and there's big raps from him. It's almost the first time we've seen him with the ball in hand today.
Yeah, the brothers have shut him down a lot. I think they've trained for him most of the week and seen a few of his other games that he's played, and has much space with the ball, but just getting that on the late in the game, getting a bit on the outside just shows you what he can do.
I guess the worrying thing about this last 90 seconds here, John, and I want to get your feedback, obviously, after the kick goes. We talked about closing out these games right now, and I think Anthony Matheson, he's probably going to be a little bit unhappy that foot wasn't kept down at the throat here, because 65 minutes of good control from brothers, it's going to finish with a score that I don't think will be reflective of what they could have probably done.
No, you're 100% right, Marty.
The Eagles sitting inside their own 22. It doesn't look like they're quite done yet. Alec McDonald will try and get the party started with some traffic there. Michael Wood spoils it.
Let it come now, no hands.
Chapo,
it's hard being up on this side of the monitor, isn't it, Chapo?
Oh, yes.
Now Blackhurst comes up. Nielsen's going and looking. Ooh. Cops big clean out from Prendergast. And Maloney not happy about it. They're going to look to the right-hand side. There is Dan Hurt.
Okay, release now.
Final 30 seconds. The Eagles holding onto it, so they're going to keep it alive. McDonald drives up. There's the 22. Ball's lost forward. And that will be very close to the finish. And that's all she wrote. So the Battle of the North is over for a second time in 2020. And it is brothers getting the win. 38 points to 21. Gents, really interesting game. I think we saw beginning of the second half and that back 10 minutes. I wish we could see that Eagles all the time.
Yeah, and that's what we've been struggling, I think, is to play the full 80 like that. We've shown really good phases and glimpses of what we can accomplish as a team. But just holding it together under a bit of pressure for that full 80, I think, is the biggest thing to work on.
I think it's an impressive performance out there today by brothers. They were clinical and they weathered the storm earlier and came back to put Norse away. But credit to Norse, kept rallying in the back end of that second half. It'd be nice to see them be a little bit more consistent across the whole 80 minutes.
All right, we're going to have a bit of an update here on scores around the grounds. Jeeps got the win over South, 47 points to 7. Wests went down to East, 15 points to 22. And with 4 minutes left, it is Bond in the lead against Sunnybank, 52 points to 43. So I don't know what it's been about Bond this season, but it's just seemed to be big score lines both times. We've seen them get a couple of wins with a very cheeky Mitch Third 80-minute conversion. So it does beg questions about maybe the defensive structures that we're seeing with Bond, if that's going to hold up. It'll be interesting. And it looks like Bond are still in the lead, 54 to 43. So if you want to see that one, everyone, you can sign on to watch the remaining one of that. Gentlemen, it was an absolute pleasure having you both here this afternoon. Chapo, good luck with the hammy, and I really hope we get to see you back on the paddock next week.
Thank you very much.
And into next year as well.
Yeah, should be good. See if we can catch a couple of late games in the season and lead into next year. Let's give a shout out to Jordan Luke as well, watching over in Force. letting you know when you're coming back, mate.
And Mr. Dalmini, mate, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure.
No worries, mate. Always a pleasure.
Well, guys, that wraps us up here. Round 9 is finished. We've got 2 more weeks of regular season matches to go, and then we're back to the wonderful place. It's Ballymore. It'll be finals time. My name's Martin Lippitt. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'll catch you next time.